1. Disagreements in a relationship can sometimes get heated and even cause us to say things we don't mean. However, there are people who use arguments to their advantage, whether it's to get their own way or because they enjoy causing pain. If you suspect your partner is using an argument to manipulate you, here are 5 sneaky tactics they might be using against you. 1. Playing the victim. The first tactic a person might use against you during an argument is playing the victim. This means that no matter what you say or do, they always have to be the one who is right. And if they happen to be wrong, they will make sure to make you feel guilty for making them feel that way. According to Healthline, this can manifest itself in many ways, such as constantly needing to be the center of attention, deflection, gaslighting, lying, and emotional manipulation. This tactic is also common in toxic relationships where the abuser will always find a way to shift the blame onto you, even if you're not at fault. It may even seem like they have a sixth sense for knowing exactly what to say to make you doubt yourself. So if you notice that your partner always manages to make themselves the victim in every argument, it may be a sign that they are using manipulation tactics to win the argument. 2. Bringing up past mistakes. Another sneaky tactic some people use to win an argument is by bringing up past mistakes. This could involve bringing up an old argument that you thought you had long forgotten about, or accusing you of doing something similar to something you did in the past. For example, let's say you and your partner are arguing about how often you should see each other. You might say, "I feel like we should see each other more often." And they might respond by saying, "Oh, so you want me to change our schedule just like you did last month when I was busy with work?" Even though your intention wasn't to change your schedule, but rather to spend more time together, they have managed to turn the argument around and make it seem like you're being selfish. This tactic is particularly effective if you have a short memory or if they bring up something that really makes you feel bad. In these cases, it is important to remember that just because they brought up something from the past doesn't mean it is relevant to the present situation. Try not to let their words get to you and focus on the issue at hand. 3. Smear campaign. A smear campaign is another tactic that can be used against you to win an argument. This involves making false or damaging statements about the other person in order to gain the upper hand. For example, let's say you and your partner are arguing about whether or not you should move in together. You might say, "I think it's time we took our relationship to the next level." And they might respond by saying, "So you just want to move in with me because you want to take advantage of my money." Even though you never mentioned anything about their money, they have managed to turn the argument around and make it seem like you were only interested in them for their money. This tactic is often used in combination with gaslighting, which is when the person tries to make you question your own reality. For example, after they've launched a smear campaign against you, they may try to convince you that you were overreacting or that you were making a big deal out of nothing. If you find that your partner is using this tactic against you, it's important to stay calm and objective. Try to focus on the facts of the argument and don't let their personal attacks get to you. 4. Guilt trip. One of the most common manipulation tactics used in an argument is the guilt trip. This involves making the other person feel guilty for their opinions or actions, often by bringing up sacrifices they've made or things they've given up for the relationship. For example, let's say you and your partner are arguing about whether or not you should have children. You might say, "I've always wanted to be a mother, and I think it is time we started trying." And they might respond by saying, "Oh, so you want me to give up my career for you?" Even though you never mentioned anything about them giving up their career, they have managed to turn the argument around and make it seem like you were only interested in having children because you want them to sacrifice their career. This tactic can be especially effective if you feel guilty about the situation already. For example, if you've been putting pressure on your partner to have children, but they're not ready yet, you may feel guilty about it. In this case, the best thing to do is to acknowledge your partner as feelings and give them time to come around. 5. Bring out the big guns. Finally, some people will use whatever tactic they need to in order to win an argument, regardless of whether or not it's ethical or hurtful. These are the people who are willing to bring out the big guns, so to speak, in order to get their way. This could involve making accusations about each other's past relationships, bringing up sensitive topics, or even threatening to end a relationship. For example, let's say you and your partner are arguing about whether or not you should have children. You might say, "I think it's time we started trying." And they might respond by saying, "Oh, so you don't think I am good enough for you unless I have a baby in my belly," even though you never said anything about them not being good enough for you. They have managed to turn the argument around and make it seem like you're rejecting them. In this case, the best thing to do is to stay calm and reiterate your original point. Let them know that you're not trying to reject them and that you love them very much. Then ask them to try to do the same in regards to the topic at hand. If you recognize these tactics in your own relationships, it's important to take a step back and evaluate what's really happening. Are you being manipulated? Is the person you're with only concerned with winning arguments, or are they trying to genuinely find a compromise? If you feel like you're being manipulated, it's important to set boundaries and communicate your needs. If the person is unwilling to respect your boundaries or make compromises, then it may be time to move on. Remember, you deserve to be in a relationship where you're loved and respected. Did you relate to any of the things we've mentioned here? Which of these tactics has your partner used against you? If you're interested in learning more about psychology-related content like this, we would like to invite you to subscribe to our channel. We truly appreciate all your support and hope you continue to learn and grow with us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.